Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Taurus January 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, we have an interesting deck this month. My daughter found this in a flea market. It was just tied up with string and without any box or papers associated with it. So I don't know what it's called, but I've looked at the imagery on it and I think it's going to give you a great reading. Now, let me see here. Wonderful, wonderful. Nice back on the deck, incidentally, for those that are interested in those sort of things, like a sort of a star constellation thing. Now, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings and healings for people over from different parts of the world over FaceTime and Skype over the course of the last month. And the healing is a spiritual duty. It is provided by me for free and without any obligation. Nothing will be sold or recommended to you. Readings, of course, I have to charge for. Details of both clairvoyant readings and healings are in the description. And if you'd like a healing, don't feel afraid to reach out to me and I'll find time in my schedule. Oh, it's great to see the subscribers again. Thank you for welcoming me into your home. I really enjoy your company. Truly, I do. It's great to see you. You're like my extended family. And you know we only need to take 5 cards because they give us everything that we need to know about what is going to be happening in this month of January. So let's get it underway, shall we? Show me the magic. The 5 of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands. That's always a good card, I think, but it depends on what they're doing with the other ones. There's the 4 of Pentacles. Here is the 3 of Pentacles. Gee, a very materialistic month for you, I have to say. And here there is Temperance. Well, why don't you come now, sit down here next to me. You and I will have a good, close look at the imagery on these cards together and let them speak while I do the reading for you. Very interesting. Well, it looks like some minor worries about your sense of security and possessions, whether you can have things you want. You come through it, though. You do obtain stability and power after looking through yourself, and then it's all guns blazing away with this Queen of Wands. Let's look at this first, shall we, and see what it is. Now, there's a lot of, looks like esoteric imagery in these cards. I won't go through all of it, but I'll point out a couple of things that I see, and of course you're free to notice whatever you want. Well, this is the 5 of Pentacles. 5 generally is an unstable number, numerologically. Unstable. So you can sometimes feel a bit wobbly, I suppose. And here we have a weary traveller that seeks a place to rest after something of a snowstorm, it looks like. And the mountains on either side, they really represent the heights you can achieve in this material world. Now, the path to the top takes faith, commitment, and endurance. And this 5, this pentacle means 5, this pentacle star symbolizes the inner guiding light shining on your path at the moment to a higher development and also to self-love. It symbolizes the embodiment of the physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual connection to the divine which you have at this time. Now, astrologically, I see your sign all over here, Taurus, and I see Mercury coming into Taurus. Mercury, that flighty planet. Well, it's got a number of aspects to it, but there's a speed and fluidity very often with Mercury. And to some extent, it must be said that it gets weighed down by the fixed sign of Earth, which of course is yours, of Taurus. And so there may be some sense of pessimism about you, some sort of problems with communications. That's the Mercury aspect of it. There could be some worries that you have. You might feel isolated. You could be losing your faith in yourself. Now, the vibes are associated with instability, so I wouldn't feel too concerned about that because there's so many other good things coming along. I very much have the impression that this, and I'll call it a worry, is something that has been going on for some time with you and you haven't dealt with it. You might be asking yourself, am I getting myself into a situation that I might not be able to get out of? Will events overwhelm me? Well, when you worry about things, remember that worry is about the past, which is in the cemetery, and the future, neither of which exist. Now, you might also ask yourself, if this was your last day on Earth, would you be using your remaining time to worry? Is there something which poses a threat to your overall security? Now, this could be an unexpected expense, maybe job worries, maybe a disruption in your family life. But remember that you must always recognize that worrying, first of all, doesn't do anything, and secondly, it can, by causing you to not act, actually make things worse. So I say this, if you are concerned about an issue, give it to God. Say, I need help with this. Give it to God, and you'll be sure to find that within a day or two, however it works, I don't know, I just know that it does, that the answer will come back to you in the most unexpected way. So I think you are now ready to look at your situation as it is. You now have the opportunity to free yourself by bringing about the necessary discussion, it's Mercury, either with a partner or with yourself or with other people at work, because only clear and open communications are going to enable progress to be made. Now, what areas or situations are you not clear and decisive enough? And with which people do you need to sort things out with? Say this to yourself. I am ready to look at my life as it is and trust in the process of resolving my fears, because I am straightening out my life. I am always the captain of my ship. Yes, so something of a little bit of looking inside yourself. And inside yourself, you will find the hidden jewel. Now, at the opposite end of that diagonal, let's have a look at this major arcana. Well, what do I see? Well, I see the Archangel Michael. And Michael is the angel of the sun and of protection. And he is right in the center of this image for you. Now, this solar disk, which is on his head, that signifies that he is the fire of the soul that purifies, brings life to, and transforms your mind and emotion. Now, there's a red square that's on his chest that suggests to me that this symbolizes the reality of the physical manifestation of the energy of Michael into this world and into your life. Now, there's a few other things going on, but I'll just talk briefly of this one here. This silver cup is being poured into this golden cup that's here. Well, the golden cup, you may not see it, has a lion carved on it, which represents the sun, the spirit, and fire. And the silver cup has an eagle carved on it, which symbolizes the moon, emotion, and water. Now, this angel, Michael, he has his right foot. Now, the right is the spiritual side in esotericism. And that foot is going into the water there. And that's the spiritual world. And it's touching that crescent moon, and the other foot rests firmly on the earth, the material world. And this really symbolizes, I think, the daily reality of the integration between both spiritual and material. Now, here is a path going off to the moon. Here is a path going off to the sun, which shows, again, both those things here. This is a symbol, this rainbow, I think, is a symbol of the connection between heaven and earth. The connection also points to finding your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And the rainbow contains all the colours of the 7 chakras in alignment, symbolizing a pathway to inner peace and enlightenment. Now, the sign astrologically around here for me is that of Sagittarius, which is optimism, enthusiasm, and fire. Now, I think that what you're going to be doing is you are going to bring about a combination of forces within you. There's a realization that's going to be had by you overcoming these doubts that are here. And you will be taking action to overcome them, an action based on a sensible and accurate assessment of the environment around you. I think you might also find that now is a time that you get success after what have been quite complicated dealings. I also have the sense here of escape, of you getting away from things, getting away from trouble, getting away with something as well. That's what I'm having here. There is a great creative power that's within you at the present time, but more importantly, a creative power that will be put into action. Now, in a sense, you are learning to bring about balance and moderation in your life. So be patient. Let things evolve at their natural pace. Do some self-evaluation and re-examination of your life's priorities, and then work in harmony from a place of stability and strength within you. This is about reintegration of the real you. It can reflect, I think, a period of quite deep self-evaluation in order to re-examine where it is that you want to go, who it is that you want to be with, who it is that you don't want to have things to do with. And you are now going about seeking a greater balance between your inner and outer self, in order to seek out what it is that brings meaning and purpose to your life. Now, you might actually, during this time, find something of a conflict between your old habits and your new visions. Well, just trust your inner self, because this really is a challenge for you to look inward. And in this phase of integrating opposites, this transformation process is not going to tolerate any further pushes or interference from the outside. Now, if you want to find the diamond, you need to dig deep into the earth. Well, here you are going to dig deep into yourself. To find the hidden diamond, you must look within. Now, what does it mean for you now to find your hidden diamond? Close your eyes and visualize a fountain of energy in your body and bathe the while in this rejuvenating current. And say this to yourself at this time: I equally value the light and dark within my own nature. I am a well-integrated person. I surrender to the transforming powers of the divine. I am an open channel for creative energy. Now, you are getting great assistance, I think, from one of your sister earth signs, that of Capricorn, but let me get to that in a second. I want to have a look at the image on this card, and it is Capricorn, I'm sure. That's what I'm getting about it. Anyway, I think the image is quite straightforward. Around this, what would you call that? Structure. There are the symbols for fire, water, earth, and air. There is here, and this is what's capturing my attention, I must say, there is a dragonfly, which is the guardian of this structure, and it is guiding you through the veil of illusion to transformation. And the swan that's floating around here is floating on the waters of opportunity. Swans symbolize grace and power for me, self-transformation and trust in spirit. And the sun, of course, symbolizes the eternal, divine, and these stars in the background here, the realm of possibility that is open to you. And this waning moon, I think, that symbolizes a sort of a standing still to gather information about how to go about achieving your goals. Yes, I say it is Capricorn, and what is the planet that's floating around? Well, it's the sun in Capricorn, I think, and not surprisingly given here. Well, Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sort of a sign, isn't it? And those with the sun in Capricorn have a realistic and grounded approach to life. This is telling me that you have, despite your fears, and after you've gone through this process of evaluation, you recognize that you have strong foundations. There is actually stability there. Now, you might be taking a tight rein on the budget and being financially cautious, saving for the future and protecting yourself. But I think that the overwhelming energy here is that of power. Now, for me, there is this sense coming up that this is actually a very material card, and I think there may well be a need for you to work out who is important in your life and how people can add to what you want to do and make good plans to do about things. Now, I think that with this horizon that's out there in the background there, it maybe has hinted that you might have found yourself in a sort of a bit lost at times, or maybe too constrained and emotionally not fulfilled, or maybe that spirit is missing from your life. Well, this is saying that now is a time when you will find your inner voice, you will find your sanctuary. Now, it may also talk about acquiring material things even to show off to other people. Now, you may be tested not to give away your personal power, and I think that you need to be sensible about where and to whom you say no. That's a recurrent energy that's coming through here. You know, sometimes you need to just shut the door and leave it closed. I think financial and material security is going to be very important to you at this time. But there is here the protection of assets as a result of sound judgment. And you see, you are willing to work for what you want, and you will have confidence in applying yourself to the world. You will be a dependable person who acts with integrity. And I do see here the fulfillment of your personal goals and dreams. Now, is your life, your behavior, like a rigid structure like this? Or does your life or your behavior need more order, more structure, and solidity? Study the different aspects of power. You'll find a work called The Prince by Machiavelli on the internet, probably the best book on power ever written, the different aspects of it. And say this to yourself: I offer my power in the service of love. Well then, where shall we go to next? That's a good image, isn't it? That's a good message coming through to you. What do we have here? This is the Three of Pentacles. And what's going on in the painting itself? There's these stars again, I notice. Well, this is the goddess of creation, and she wears the crown of the moon's cycles. You see how they're cycling away there, the moon? And the sun, this thing here, is the divine energy, and that's being overlapped by this full moon that's there. And I think what this is doing is it's bringing inspired vision through your heart and imagination. Now, these three turtles that are doing there, well, they have an association with me with the triple goddess and body, mind, and spirit. Now, the goddess is focusing on these 3 eggs that are in this nest down there, and is working with the energies of divine creativity, aligning the mind, the body, and the spirit, symbolized by the string of stars swirling around her, is what I see here. And this star energy has activated, I'm looking at that, her third eye, giving her deep insight and vision. Now, these three eggs down here, I think, symbolizes your wishes, dreams, and ideas being nurtured and blessed. And this rainbow that's shooting all around here in the background here, well, that clearly is also a reference to the bridge between heaven and earth and the unity of spirit and humanity. Now, I've got to say, I've got Capricorn here again, so this is also very good for you. This time I have Mars in the second decan of Capricorn, the 3rd to the 12th of January. Now, Mars, of course, is about energy, assertion, and vitality. And Capricorn, as you would have gathered, is about ambition, practicality, and making things tangible. Now, the good thing is, now, Mars is often thought to be a problem planet, but Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which means it gets to be treated as an honored guest in Capricorn, and its energy is put productively to bringing about material success and about stability. So this materialism, which Capricorn is known for, benefits from the energy and the activity of Mars. So I think that this signifies that you investing time and effort into work, however broadly you might want to define that, is actually going to turn out very favorably for you. This is speaking to me of a new job, maybe a career, certainly satisfaction in what you're doing for work, doing a good job, continued progression, productivity, and teamwork with other people. There's a gradual progress going forward here. And more importantly, I see with this great self-confidence. In fact, I do see reward for your hard work and dedication. And your skills and knowledge, well, they're going to start to move you forward now. There's very good outcomes for career, for business projects, and for practical matters in general. Life generally is in balance for you. Despite this, it's in balance for you. And this is going to be fulfilling for your body, your mind, and your heart. And you will reap the reward of a balanced life. Now, in particular, I do see here a great ability to stick with things and to overcome obstacles and live now with the wind in your sails. Now, some situation is demanding your readiness to work steadily. Well, engage yourself totally. It's going to be worth it. In what areas do you still hold yourself back? In which areas could you be giving more of your energies? Now find out and remain aware of what you want to set your full energies towards achieving. Concentrate at a narrow point. Don't scatter your energy. And say to yourself, I am now ready to give everything and to receive everything as well. I'll move quickly on to the last one because I'm concerned about your time. And so, you will get the idea from this painting here that there's a lot of fire energy around here. In fact, I see a lot of energy of Aries and Pisces, so they're going to be important to you. You will be protected physically by the masculine strength of the lion, and you'll be given great insight by the feminine yin energy of this leopard. She holds the sunflowers of success all around her. This is a time of self-knowledge for you, change, and even compassion. I think you might even be mastering self-knowledge. You will have looked deep into your own nature, which has led to a transformation of your being. Now she's sitting in this very fiery type of throne of sunflowers here, wearing a fiery tunic. Now she is esoterically water, and she's in the suit of fire, and so she's unifying water and fire. She's unifying intuitive recognition and emotional development, which affect her ability to make things happen and crystallize in the real world. Now, I do think that you will be going through a process of self-discovery, according to this energy that's here. But more importantly, you will be remembering your power. Do you know, you've got to where you are by resolving difficulties in the past, and now you are a stronger character. It's time to express your natural power and beauty and move on from the past. You will know what you want. You'll have an active life, and I've got to say this, you'll be creating a very powerful first impression. People are going to find you very sexually attractive. I think you've worked hard on yourself and made progress. It's time to learn how to share this with others. Let your self-realization be expressed in your daily life. How can you share what you have found for yourself with other people? Now, you have the ability here to express natural power and beauty and move on. You might find yourself very impatient with people from time to time. I've got to say this is that there is an element here of alcohol I've got to see around here. I don't make any judgment about that. But this is the type of person who can sometimes, when they've had a lot to drink, have outbursts of ill-considered fury. Now, learning, of course, is finding out what you already know. Action is showing that you do know. Teaching is letting others know that they know it as well as you. And say to yourself, I am a radiant being filled with light and love. Well, what a particularly interesting, fantastic spread of cards for you. Great month ahead. Didn't you do a good job? Gee, I said that was an interesting deck, didn't I? And what a fantastic set of imagery it was. What a good month it's going to be for you, I think, and don't you deserve it? Truly you do. Fantastic. Well, unless I see you privately beforehand, then I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.